Released on September 14, 2008 in North America, Rock Band 2 refines the full band gameplay from its predecessor and adds a lot of improvements to pretty much everything, including its tour modes and just general features. Whether it be the big changes or the small quality of life improvements, Rock Band 2 feels really polished. It fixed the issues of the first game and added a bunch of new stuff to keep players entertained and coming back for more, whether they're playing solo or have a band. Without further ado, let's give Rock Band 2 a closer look. Rock Band 2's main attraction is still the full band gameplay from its predecessor, but the new general changes, along with some other additions that made playing each and every instrument fun, are very nice. Let's talk about some of these general gameplay changes. First, breakneck speed. Hyperspeed from the first 3 Guitar Heroes is back. That additional 25% increase in note speed really helps in nailing those tricky solos and riffs. It also helps immensely in drum sections that get real hectic. The tour mode in this game is close to Rock Band 1's tour mode, but in this game, players don't have to play as a band to do the tour mode. They could tackle it alone or with friends, and it doesn't matter whether or not the band is all in the same room. Tours can be done online too. Other than that, tour mode now has managers. Managers usually grant certain rewards at a higher rate than usual. For example, there's managers that grant more fans and money whenever the player plays in a certain town, while other managers increase the player's chances of getting a special opportunity. Speaking of special opportunities, players may sometimes be asked to shoot a music video to gain fans or money, and if they accept, they will play a song that the game chooses in the special music video venue. Apart from the tour mode, there's also the challenge mode, which is kinda like Rock Band 1's solo tours. Players choose a predetermined setlist of a couple of songs and gain some fans and money after completing it. There are a few different types of setlists in challenge mode. The main setlists include the guitar, bass, drum, and vocal setlist, where players must have that specific instrument in order to play and pass them. There's also band setlist, where players have to have multiple people playing that setlist. Once players beat any of the instrument setlist, they'll get another instrument setlist that includes songs from the next difficulty for that instrument. For example, once the guitar warm-up setlist is completed, the guitar apprentice setlist is unlocked, apprentice being the difficulty after warm-ups. Players will keep doing this until they've unlocked the Impossible setlist for the instruments they played. The Impossible instrument challenges unlock special Creator Rocker outfits, and the final band challenge unlocks special instruments players can equip for their custom characters. There's also the Marathon setlist, which is just a collection of every song included within the instrument setlist challenges pertaining to that difficulty. Next, there's setlists that have a certain theme to them, such as a specific song genre and band/album setlist, which include a compilation of songs from a certain album or band. Not much has been done to the core gameplay of the instruments. The only thing I can think of is the talkies and vocals gameplay were fixed, so now players won't be unfairly punished for unpitched vocals. Although weirdly enough, once overdrive is activated on vocals, the meter will drain during sections where a vocal or percussion phrase isn't present, so I guess this was done in order to make vocals players think harder about when they should activate overdrive. There's also no vocal versions of songs in this game like its predecessor, so vocals players will sometimes have to sit through entire instrumental sections just to pass a song. Players can now customize their band with stand-ins, so they can have their custom characters on whatever instrument they want whenever they play tour mode or challenge mode. Do I even need to mention quick play? Well, for the 8th time, pick a song, pick a difficulty, then boom, into the game. Nothing's changed. Rock Band 2 also includes a drum trainer that helps players learn and understand common drum patterns often found in rock music. There was a multiplayer mode called Battle of the Bands, where players could challenge other bands over the internet in certain challenges. This game mode no longer works, as the servers were shut down a while ago, but from what I've heard, it was pretty fun, so apologies about the lack of appropriate gameplay. Speaking of the multiplayer modes, Tug of War and Score Duel return, and they're exactly the same from last game, so go figure. Rock Band 2's visuals are very much like its predecessor. The art style is largely unchanged. It still has the simple designs with the sharp edges of the characters and instruments. Nothing complicated. This game shares a lot of animations from last game, and also has a lot of the same Creator Rocker pieces, not to mention venues from the last game as well. Despite this, Rock Band 2 does revamp the visuals in pretty much every way. The UI is still the same style, but they've been polished to fit in better with the new designs. The new art style also incorporates a lot more color, particularly a lot more blue. The largely monochrome style of the first game's UI wasn't bad, but this change really amps up the visuals and gives it the push it needs to make everything shiny and appealing. There's also special artworks that are sprinkled throughout the menus to give more personality to the UI and make it feel special to be part of a band. The new venues fit right in with the art style, and most of them are pretty cool and interesting. There's new Creator Rocker pieces, and new types of apparel, including masks and gloves, so players can give a bit more charm to their characters than they could in Rock Band 1. Not to mention, there's more special instruments the player can buy once they have a lot of money, or by beating certain challenges in challenge mode. Also, instead of freeze framing every character before a song starts, the camera will pan to show the character's name and the icon for the instrument they're playing, along with the player's username. The returning venues were given some new spark too, so they have that same charm, but aren't identical to its predecessor. Just before I go any further, I have to mention, the visuals in this video are a bit misleading. Like my Rock Band 1 review, I'm playing this game on the PS3 emulator, RPCS3, and with it, I upscaled the game to 1440p and uncapped the frame rate, so the venues would run at 60 FPS. Normally the animations would run at 720p 30 FPS, but since I have the resources and wanted to increase the production quality, I decided to utilize the emulator's enhancements. And just like the last Rock Band review, let's see how it would look on genuine PS3 hardware. Oh boy, I said it before, and I'll say it again. It's amazing to see how technology can breathe new life into these games. Anyways, going back to the venues, I'm gonna list some of my new favorite ones, as mentioning all of the new venues would be just a little too much, so here goes. Sullivan Square, an outside venue that takes place near a construction site. It's a nice taste of urban life, with the cool graffiti behind the band and city aspect. Abazan Arena, a classy place with the luxury curtains and luscious decorations around the venue. Even the floors are made with the best of materials. No expense was spared. Circo de Musica, a big open area that's definitely wacky due to it following the aesthetics of a carnival. Drawings of the crazy performers hang on the walls, and the stage proudly presents their frontrunner in big neon lights. Cheap Shot Records, a small record store that acts as a way for the band to gain a platform. Outside, it's snowing, so everybody stays inside to stay warm and forget about the weather with the amazing music. These venues, in my opinion, really show off the best parts about Rock Band 2's creativity in the visuals department. They experiment with the lighting and band animations in such a way so that the game feels energetic and that every band member is jamming out and pulling their weight. There's also the special music video venue that takes place in a free-form area where the band jams out and the special effects do all the talking. Too bad they're limited to a small amount of songs from the Rock Band 2 setlist. This venue cannot be used for any DLC songs. The returning venues, in particular, the Stealth Theater, the Quarter Hole, and El Grande Teatro de la Rocha, are also worth mentioning, even if they're not new to the series, just because they work so well with the new animations and slightly different art style of this game. The main menu in this game, like last time, takes place during a concert where players navigate through the menus. The game separates the main parts of gameplay into the career mode and quick play mode, instead of two main buttons for solo and multiplayer gameplay, and this works a lot better in terms of flow in my opinion. The career mode menu was given a revamp thanks to the new options players have when they go there. Not to mention, more options were given to players on customizing their band, such as changing the name, logo, stand-ins, and players could even have a motto for their band. The song selection screen was also given some improvements. For one, it looks more like an actual menu rather than the paper scroll used for the first game, so even if it is less charming, it's more aesthetically pleasing and just makes sense. Secondly, the player can sort alphabetically through the selections of the song menu, so if players want to go straight to songs that start with S, they can do so without having to go through all the songs prior. The game also has it so players can sort through songs by the total amount of stars they obtained on the song and by the source it came from. The song selection screen also shows the year and genre of the song, along with the difficulty of every instrument, and if players are on quick play, an image of the album's cover art also appears. There's also an option to create playlists this time too, so players can run through their favorite songs without having to go back and forth with the menus. This new menu UI is super useful and really gets rid of all the pain of the first game's navigation system. Everything's clear, there's more options, and I can play a certain song of my choosing without having to go through all the other songs I have in my library. Rock Band 2's setlist is more varied than its predecessor, and executed really well. The selection is unmatched. Most of the songs are fun to play on pretty much every instrument. The variety is pretty close to its predecessor, but includes a bit more metal, which I think is great. Not only did they include more metal, but it's metal with pitched vocals. That way the players on vocals can actually do something, while the people on guitar, bass, and drums jam away at the difficult riffs and solos. It also seems to include a bit more pop this time. The first Rock Band had more pop rock songs, but this game has more songs that feel more like just pop than pop rock. This game also doesn't have any covers from Wave Group. Every song is a master recording. The bonus songs in this game, which include songs from artists that have a Harmonix staff member in them, or small artists from Boston, are included in the main set list, so they play a more prominent role in the gameplay than Harmonix previous games. Harmonix introduced the Rock Band Network in this game, which was a system where musical artists could chart their own songs as DLC, and once it was approved, players could purchase the songs, and the profits would be split between the artist, Harmonix, and the platform for which the DLC was purchased. Fans on the Xbox 360 could also create their own charts for their own music too. They would have to be a special member of Xbox Live and use a music program known as Reaper, but it was cool for ordinary people to be able to create music and chart it for Rock Band fans to listen to. A lot better than Guitar Hero's GH Tunes. This idea also worked out really well, as plenty of artists got their songs into Rock Band without Harmonix having to shell out more resources than necessary to get fans' favorite bands in the game. The game will also ask the player to rate the Rock Band Network song they just played whenever they played in Quick Play. One more thing, the sound effects. The sound effects in this game are pretty similar to last games, with guitar, bass, and drum chords acting as the confirmation and decline noises throughout the menus. I think this game has better sound effects. They just sound more impactful and harmonic than last games. It's easier to understand by just playing the game. Other than that, I don't have anything else to say about the sound section of this game. Rock Band 2 has more extras than last time. The game places them all in the dedicated extras tab, where players can input cheat codes and turn them on as they please. The first game only had an unlock all songs cheat, so it's nice to see Harmonix added a bunch of modifiers to spice up the game, or help those that aren't that great at the game. This game also started the ongoing joke known as awesomeness detection, which is an extra that states it will let the player know they're awesome. In reality, it does nothing. That's the joke. Unfortunately, there's no bonus videos in this game. What a shame. I always enjoy whenever they're included. Next, I want to explain the version differences real quick, as there isn't a lot this time around. The only difference between the Xbox 360 and PS3 versions of this game are the 360 version can run the graphics at 1080p, and some Rock Band Network songs weren't released for the PS3. Other than that, they are identical. The Wii version has real-time animations, DLC, and online play this time, but since it's the Wii, it doesn't look as good as Sony's or Microsoft's counterparts. The PS2 version still uses the pre-rendered videos with the instrument UI overlaid, just like the first game on the PS2. Anyways, Rock Band 2 has a community mod known as Rock Band 2 Deluxe that adds a bunch of improvements and upgrades that breathe new life into the game. It adds a bunch more modifiers to the extra screen. Tour mode incorporates songs from Rock Band 1 if the player has the song export for that game. Rock Band 1's unexportable songs were added as well. The note speed can be changed all the way up to 250%. The song speed can also be changed. The venue's frame rate can be changed. Rock Band 1's and LEGO Rock Band's endless setlist can be played if the player has the song exports. Visual upgrades were added to the UI. Star power for drums could be activated automatically instead of having to do the disruptive drum fills. The player can choose the venue they want to play on. A new venue was added that adds animations from Guitar Hero World Tour's Tool venue to the Wall venue, ability to change note colors, and a bunch of other small things. It's an amazing mod, and I never want to play Rock Band 2 again without it. It's only available for modded PS3s and modded Xbox 360s, but if that hurdle can be passed, it's totally worth it. It also works with the PS3 emulator. Honestly speaking, I really only have small issues with Rock Band 2. The biggest issue I have is the drum fills. I criticized the drum fills in the last game, which, as a reminder, is the way drummers activate star power, because it messes with the flow and rhythm of the drums gameplay, and since Harmonix didn't change the feature, it's still an issue. I think the fills in this game are a bit more lenient though, but don't quote me on that. The sorting system for this game isn't perfect, but it works well enough, and it is a huge upgrade over the first game, so it really doesn't cause any problems. There's also like 5 different sub-venues in the tour mode that are the exact same venue, yet they all have different names. I don't know why this was done. It's confusing, it really doesn't add much to the tour mode honestly. I kinda wish there were more new venues in this game. There's only about 10 or so new ones. I understand Harmonix had to put effort in supporting the previous game's venues, and I really like the old venues, but if having less past venues meant room for more unique and creative stages to play on, I would much prefer that. Other than that, I don't really have any issues with this game.
You gotta keep them separated.
Rock Band 2 is an excellent game. It pretty much takes everything the first game did and really amps it up. I don't have much complaints about this game. The gameplay is just phenomenal, the visuals still have the same charm, and players can really customize their custom characters without going too crazy. The soundtrack is fun, varied, and there's more metal this time. Hyperspeed is back, and there's some extras to mess around with. Not to mention, things like the Rock Band Network and Battle of the Bands are really nice additions that can really get the community involved. Too bad the latter game mode can't be played anymore though. If you have a modded PS3, RPCS3, or a modded Xbox 360, I cannot recommend the Deluxe mod enough. Its features are top notch and totally worth the storage space. I'll link it in the description for anybody that wants it. Trust me, you'll want it. Let's count up everything Rock Band 2 has to offer. 84 songs that are fun to play and varied in genres and decades, more customization options for custom characters, new venues that are cool, fun hotspots, returning venues that were given some pizzazz to separate them from the first game and to give the visuals a touch up, band stand-ins so solo players can get even more attached to their characters, the ability to solo tour mode, which is a huge plus as players won't need their friends to tackle such a good game mode, challenge mode for something more linear but rewarding and fun, slight changes in the art style that give the visuals a nice lift, and many core features from the first game that weren't broken, so they didn't need to be fixed. Rock Band 2 is such an experience. It's easy to see why so many players of the franchise always come back to this one to relive the Rock Band experience. It's simple fun, there's nothing complicated about it. Straightforward full band and solo gameplay. And until next time, continue rocking on, whether it's by yourself or you've got a band of friends ready to jam the night away.